So if you're going through it right now and you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you can't even bring yourself to get outside and do more approaches, that means you're exactly where you need to be. Nerves, uncertainty, hesitation, doubt, anxiety, depression, these don't have to be negative emotions. They don't have to be the reason why you stop. They are the reason why you need to keep going, because if you're feeling nervous and uncertain, it's a sign that you're stepping in to bigger shoes. It's a sign that you're leveling up as an individual. And that's where most guys stop, right? Most guys will go out, they'll do approaches, maybe the numbers flake, or maybe the dates don't go that well, or maybe they get rejected every single approach. What most guys do, what ordinary individuals do after this, is they give up. Yeah, they take the easy route. They go back onto the dating apps. They go back to grotty nightclubs where they're hanging around until 3 a.m. They take the easy route and try and get women through their social circle. How to deal with the emotional lows of cold approach, okay? Because if you're watching this, you're probably not a beginner to cold approach anymore. Maybe you've gone out and you have done approaches. But what you quickly start to realize is cold approach feels like an emotional roller coaster, yeah? Some days you go out and you feel as though you're on top of the world, you're riding on godly frequency. Maybe you went out last weekend, you did 7 approaches, every approach just hit, everything was going well, the women were lighting up, you were getting phone numbers, you went back home, and then maybe what happened is every one of the phone numbers that you got, they all flaked on you, yeah? So maybe you went from all the way up here to all the way down there in a couple of hours, yeah? I think that a problem that a lot of guys have is this thing that we call cold approach. It gets sold to you as this cheat codes, yeah? Oh, just learn how to approach and all your problems are gonna be solved. But once you've been in this game and once you've got skin in the game, you recognize that it is a roller coaster, yeah? Progress with cold approach can often feel non-linear. And you start to compare yourself to how you did last week or the week before. One week you're doing really well, the next week you go out and for whatever reason, nothing's hitting. Maybe you're struggling to get the women to stop. Maybe you're getting phone numbers, but the phone numbers are flaking. And then you're looking online, the only advice you seem to hear is, oh bro, just keep taking action, yeah? Just take more action. And for me, the guys who say just take more action, that's like a doctor who tells all of his patients to just drink more water, regardless of the diagnosis, yeah? Because just taking more action, especially when you feel overwhelmed or burnt out, or you don't feel as though you're getting the results your efforts deserved, just taking more action is usually not the answer, okay? Because if you're feeling in this emotional low right now, where you are putting in the reps, you are putting yourself out there, maybe you've done over 100 approaches, but you're not seeing the results that you feel as though your efforts deserved, and you're starting to feel disillusioned with the whole process. You're starting to feel as though, what's the point? Why should I keep putting myself out there if all I'm getting are flaky phone numbers? Or maybe you are going on dates with women, but the dates are not leading anywhere. Or maybe the dates you're going on are not really women who are exciting you. They're just there. Yeah, you don't want her, you just want someone. And you're in this place right now where you just feel stuck. You feel overwhelmed. And also it feels like you're trying to resolve decades of trauma all at once. It's like you're trying to learn cold approach, but you're also trying to manage your finances. You're also trying to pay off your mortgage. You're also trying to be confident, find love, not fall behind, not feel as though you're not doing enough. You feel as though you're capable of doing so much more than you're currently doing, but you just feel overwhelmed, yeah? This is why I always say to guys, cold approach, it's not for the faint of heart, okay? If you're gonna learn cold approach, it is going to test you. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But the best advice I can give to you is if you are feeling burnt out right now, especially through the approach game, if you feel as though you're hitting these emotional lows, the thing that always kept me steady when I was going through this process, when I was learning this skill on my own in 2020, before I got coached, when I was learning this skill and I felt lost, yeah, I felt as though no matter what I did, I was just not going to be enough. I would go out, right? I'd go out into Leeds City Centre. I'd have these weekend sessions. One week things would go well. The next week, my approaches just weren't hitting. And I would go back after a bad cold approach session in Leeds. Dude, I would just sit on my bathroom floor. I would just fucking cry. I would bawl my eyes out. I'd be like, why does this feel so difficult? Am I just fundamentally unlovable? Am I broken? Is there something wrong with me? I'm putting myself out there. I'm taking action. But I feel as though I keep hitting a wall. And the thing that always kept me steady through these dark days is reminding myself of my why, yeah? Why am I actually doing this? Because I think the guys who get the best results from daytime approach are the guys who enjoy the pain of the process, yeah? Cold approach is not an easy ride. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But if you're in this emotionally low state right now, where maybe you feel overwhelmed with lots of different things in life, you want to be confident, you want to find love, you want to heal trauma, you want to find resolutions to all the unresolved shit that you've gone through. Maybe you've got this fear of ending up like your parents, or you've got this deep fear of mediocrity, yeah? You need to remind yourself of why you're doing this. Why are you putting yourself out there? Why are you putting yourself through the social fire? Why are you not choosing to outsource the future of your bloodline to algorithms, to alcohol, to friends of friends? Because daytime approach is not for ordinary individuals, right? The guys who work with me, they understand they're not ordinary, right? They don't want a normal life. They don't want a normal existence. They reject mediocrity, yeah? So when you're out there and you feel as though you're hitting this emotional low, where it feels like just doing more approaches feels difficult, you need to remind yourself of your why. Yeah, why are you doing this? Because for me, it's like Nietzsche said, he who has a strong enough why can bear any how. Because for me, when I was learning this skill, I realized quickly it went deeper than just talking to women. It went deeper than just my own egoic self-absorption. I was doing this for my future family. I was doing this for my future bloodline. I was doing this from that scared little kid inside of me who wasn't cool and calm and confident growing up. I wanted to do this skill. I wanted to learn this as a 2 middle finger salute to a society that want to keep me shackled, yeah? So if you're going through it right now and you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you can't even bring yourself to get outside and do more approaches, that means you're exactly where you need to be. Nerves, uncertainty, hesitation, doubt, anxiety, depression, these don't have to be negative emotions. They don't have to be the reason why you stop. They are the reason why you need to keep going. Because if you're feeling nervous and uncertain, it's a sign that you're stepping in to bigger shoes. It's a sign that you're leveling up as an individual. And that's where most guys stop, right? Most guys will go out, they'll do approaches, maybe the numbers flake, or maybe the dates don't go that well, or maybe they get rejected every single approach. What most guys do, what ordinary individuals do after this, is they give up. Yeah, they take the easy route. They go back onto the dating apps. They go back to grotty nightclubs where they're hanging around until 3 a.m. They take the easy route and try and get women through their social circle. So understand right now, if you're going through this emotional low where everything feels difficult, you feel overwhelmed, I understand it. I've been in this position so many times. I used to cry. I used to cry when daytime approach became so difficult, yeah? But you need to understand that if you do feel burnt out, if you feel overwhelmed by the process, then just remind yourself why you're actually doing this. Because when you understand that it goes so much deeper than just your dating life, so much deeper than just getting dates with women, for me, this always kept me steady, even in the dark days. So yeah, what I suggest for you right now is, if this has been useful, and you are struggling when it comes to daytime approach, then I put together a full free 10-hour cold approach course, okay? And that gives you everything you need to master this skill without feeling so burnt out.